Here is a quick discourse, in the nature of the Eternal Tao. The word Tao means the way of nature and the universe, or the path of natural reality. It also refers to a way in which we can open our minds to learn more about the world, our spiritual paths, and ourselves. Sometimes the Tao is also referred to as the origin of all things, as the source of life, as the Wu Qi itself. Taoism, especially its internal alchemy path, is not a philosophy of mind alone, but a real practice of body, mind, and spirit. When you have the true sense of its meaning, the true knowledge and wisdom, you will be able to make the right decisions in your life. The roots of Taoism go back to the dawn of human civilization. Taoism is the cradle of the Chinese culture. The Taoist cosmology and life principles are reflected in all aspects of life, in traditional Chinese, medicine, philosophy, religion, in painting and calligraphy, in literature and theater, in ethics and politics. Over the centuries, Taoism has developed itself in many different directions and has mixed with principles of Buddhism, Confucianism, Hinduism, etc. Therefore, in the history of Taoism we see a beautiful kaleidoscope of different philosophical and religious teachings. Most of them found an expression in books and pamphlets, which are collected in the Taoist canon, the Tao Te Ching. Everyone is acquainted with the Tao Te Ching, the Chang Tzu, or with the I Ching. Less with, for instance, classical works as the Tsen Tong Chi, the Triplex Unity, of Wei Po Yang and of the Pao Pu Tzu, the sage who embraces simplicity, of Ko Hung of the same period. Both are early Taoists, internal, alchemists from around 200 CE. In the text of Wei Po Yang we can even read about the sexual and canonly practices of the universal healing Tao. Our great ancestor is the immortal Lu Tongpin, the grandfather of internal alchemy. In the last few years, very good translations of classical Taoist texts and overviews of the history have been published. The universal healing Tao training mainly follows the path of internal alchemy to attain health, longevity, and immortality. Although there are many different paths in Taoism to reach the Tao, they generally have more or less the same cosmology in common. Taoist cosmology. Wu Qi. According to Taoist cosmology, before the beginning of the manifested universe, there was a state of total emptiness. In this primordial state, nothing stirred. The relative concept of time did not apply to the primordial state, because there was nothing to measure time against. All was a void. The ancient Taoists gave it a name. It was called Wu Qi. Wu means absence, negation, nothingness. The Qi in Wu Qi, though it is spelled the same way in English, as the word that means life force, is a totally different word in Chinese. The Qi in Wu Qi means highest or ultimate. Wu Qi thus means ultimate state of nothingness. Tai Chi. The primordial yin and yang. The Wu Qi stirred through some unknown impulse, and the first moment of creation began. This first impulse manifested Qi through the primordial polarity of yin and yang, negative and positive. The interplay of yin and yang is the essential expression of Wu Qi. The Taoists name this process Tai Chi or Supreme Ultimate. All the multiplicity of phenomena found in the universe, visible or invisible, are the results of yin and yang interaction. Qi. The source of all movement. Qi, or life force, is the foundation of all the Taoist practices, in the same way that electricity is the foundation of modern civilization. Without electricity, practically every aspect of our modern lifestyle could come to a stop. Similarly, without Qi, one's life would come to an abrupt halt. Qi can be defined as bioelectrical, life force, vitality, or simply energy. Qi is all of these, but none of them exclusively. Just as electricity is still incomprehensible to scientists in its total breadth and depth, Qi is beyond intellectual understanding. According to the ancient Taoists, Qi is found in the air we breathe, Yet it is not just oxygen or any of the other gaseous components of the atmosphere. Qi is also found in the food we eat, yet it is not just a vitamin, mineral, or carbohydrate that we can chemically isolate. Qi is absorbed into the food we eat through the process of photosynthesis, yet it is not sunlight or any other type of ray detectable by modern scientists' sensing devices. Qi is the essence of the food we eat and the air we breathe, the real nourishment of the body. When we breathe or eat, we are taking Qi into our bodies. Without Qi, there can be no life. The 5 elements or phases of energy. The interaction of yin and yang is expressed through 5 basic phases of energy behavior, often called the 5 elements. The 5 elements refer not only to the 5 physical elements we find all around, but also to the ways Qi expresses itself in the universe. The first phase is energy at rest, energy in an extreme state of quietness and concentration. This phase is named water, because water, if undisturbed, naturally becomes extremely still. The second phase is the development of the first. If energy is extremely quiet and concentrated, it bursts into activity at some point, just like the Wu Qi. This second phase is that expansion of energy. It is called wood, because trees burst into activity in the spring after their long period of winter rest. The burst of activity in the wood phase cannot last for long, it soon stabilizes into a period of sustained energy releases. This third phase is named fire, because fire is able to sustain a high level of energy release over a long period. As the high energy releases the fire begins to decline, it gives rise to the fourth phase, that of contracting energy. The fourth phase is called metal, because metal is a very condensed state of energy. The fifth phase of energy is that of central balance and harmony of all the other 4 phases. This final phase is named earth, because the earth is the ground of all the other elements. Yin, yang is the root and trunk of all creation, the 5 elements are the branches that bear the leaves, lowers, and fruits of the universe. The result of the 5 phases of energy is the manifestation and activity of the sun, moon, stars, plants, and all life on earth. This view of Taoist cosmology may seem abstract and simplistic, but modern science has arrived at essentially the same view of creation. All matter throughout the universe is made of atomic particles. The atoms, once believed to be the smallest indivisible particles of matter, have proved under observation to be made of subatomic particles and waves, all propelled into motion by the polarity of the positive and the negative. Scientists have also arrived at a concept of an original explosion of energy, which they refer to as the Big Bang. Taoists view the universe as a vast ocean of interacting energy driven by the fundamental interplay of yin and yang. Humans are one of the most complex manifestations of such interaction. The universe as a manifestation of the 5 elements is self-sustaining. All living creatures are constantly interacting with all the elements of creation through the processes of eating, breathing, sensing, feeling, and thinking. The 8 forces. Like the 5 phases of energy, the 8 forces of nature are also the result of the interplay of yin and yang. Together they form the power symbol of the Pakua, and combined together they form the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. In fact, the 5 phases of energy correspond with these 8 forces of nature. The 8 forces are the basic energy formations of nature. Where do we derive our life force? The basic source of human energy, according to Taoists, comes from our parents. The yin energy of the mother and the egg and the yang energy of the father in the sperm provide the initial sparks that ignite the fire of life. This energy from the parents is called prenatal energy or original qi. A second source of our energy is the air we breathe and the food we eat and the qi we absorb. We call this postnatal energy. Qi is radiation from the stars in the form of light, electromagnetic waves, and subsonic vibrations. The most prominent stars in this process are the Sun, the North Star, and the stars in the constellation known as the Big Dipper. Humans in particular depend on the chi radiated through space by the stars and planets for sustenance. The air we breathe is charged with cosmic energy in the form of extremely fine particles of cosmic dust. This dust is the residue of exploded stars, planets and asteroids. It rains constantly onto the Earth, forming an essential component of the soil. Plants are the only living organisms that can directly transform light into nourishment. Humans absorb light energy indirectly by eating either vegetables or the flesh of other animals that feed on plants. The interaction of light, cosmic dust in the soil, and air, together with water, forms the basis for photosynthesis in plants. All life on Earth depends on plant life, either directly or indirectly. The great majority of organisms feed directly on plants, and a small minority feed on other animals that eat plants. Chi is life, and abundant energy is abundant life. If our energy supply is low due to illness or excessive emotions, we experience low vitality and lack of drive. Living ceases to be an enjoyable experience, we feel disconnected from the environment, from society, and from ourselves. Taoists therefore place extreme importance on cultivating and maintaining a high level of energy to strengthen one's connection with the universe and oneself. The ultimate goal of Taoist practice is attaining a state of complete union with the source of the universe. All life emerges from Wu Qi unconsciously. Through Taoist practices, one can attain immortality and return to the Wu Qi consciously to dissolve into oneness. Taoists actively encourage any practice or point of view that helps strengthen our connection with the universe. The most direct way of sustaining our links with all creation is by cultivating the energy that is the foundation of life. 8 forces: movement, stillness, solidification, fluidity, extension, contraction, unification, division. The Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. The Master doesn't take sides. She welcomes both saints and sinners. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. Hold on to the center. The Tao is called the Great Mother. Empty yet inexhaustible. It gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it any way you want. The Tao is infinite eternal. Why is it eternal? It was never born. Thus it can never die. Why is it infinite? It has no desire for itself. Thus it is present for all beings. The Master stays behind. That is why she is ahead. She is detached from all things. That is why she is one with them. Because she has let go of herself. She is perfectly fulfilled. The Tao that can be told is not the Eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Yet mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness. The gateway to all understanding. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. Being and non-being create each other. Difficult and easy support each other. Before and after follow each other. Therefore the Master acts without doing anything, and teaches without saying anything. Things arise and she lets them come. Things disappear and she lets them go. She has but doesn't possess. Acts but doesn't expect. When her work is done, she forgets it. That is why it lasts forever. The Tao is like a well, used but never used up. It is like the eternal void, filled with infinite possibilities. It is hidden but always present. I don't know who gave birth to it. It is older than God. Look and it can't be seen. Listen and it can be heard. Reach and it can be grasped. Above it isn't bright. Below it isn't dark. Seamless, unnameable. It returns to the realm of nothing. Form that includes all forms. Image without an image. Subtle, beyond all conception. Approach it and there is no beginning. Follow it and there is no end. You can know it, but you can be it. At ease in your own life. Just realize where you came from. This is the essence of wisdom. The supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. It is content with the low places that people disdain. Thus it is like the Tao. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. When you are content to be simply yourself, and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. Fill your bowl to the brim, and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife, and it will blunt. Chase after money and security, and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval, and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. The door of total mastery is what the old master called the door of the mysterious female, and what latter Taoists called the opening of the mysterious pass. This opening is not an ordinary opening. It is made of creativity and receptivity joining together. This is called the layer of spirit and energy. In it are the essence of desire and reason. Put simply, it is just one yin and one yang, one spirit and one energy, that is all. If you can get yin and yang to combine, spirit and energy to mass together, then the substance of the mysterious pass will be established.